Happy Friday, degenerates. Was it a happy day? I think it was better than yesterday, that's for damn sure. I think my portfolio, um, started way down, came up a little bit. It was green, and then it kind of came back down to flat. I think it closed under 1% down. So much better than yesterday. Let's look at the VIX. This is the volatility index. This is a 4-hour chart, and you can kind of read the market by looking at this. Again, this is 4 hours. This day and Tuesday down here, it was flat down. We want this low. This is the fear index. When it's high, people freak out, panic, sell. You know what I'm talking about. So going into Thursday, it shot up. This is Thursday at 8:30 in the morning, 12:30. Then this is this morning at 2:15, and so that's what happened yesterday. People are afraid. There's uncertainty everywhere. Tariffs, wars, Fed rate cuts, you name it. It's the market's neurotic. Anyway, at just before it's 6:15 this morning. It hit a resistance point and bounced, which is good because then it came down the rest of the day. That's where we got our, everything kind of turned around. Not necessarily all back to up, but got us back to even. And but then it bounced off this pivot point, which is now a support. So could it go back up on Monday? It certainly could. Could it break through that and go even higher? It certainly could. It has before. So you're going to see some volatility into next week. So just, stay tuned for that. Don't panic. Have everything in order. Don't be using 100% margin because you may get a margin call. But anyway, that's the VIX. That's a 4-hour VIX. I look at the daily too, but the 4-hour just really coincides with what's going on. So let's talk about. I'm going to talk about the Roundhill had declarations today. We'll update the yields on that. But first, real quick, Yieldboost. We love Yieldboost. They have a new fund coming. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, November 18th. That's this coming Tuesday. Nuggy. That is a gold miners ETF. It's Yieldboost, so I assume it's an income. They do their put credit spreads. And I also assume it's going to be a double leverage because that's what they do. But no other details. It's not mentioned, on their website at all that I've seen. But they did post that. So, and when Yieldboost launches a fund, this says Tuesday, they may declare something on Thursday because they declare on Thursdays, and they did that with the two newest funds, the IonQ one and the other one. Anyway, also doesn't have a date, but it just says countdown to launch. SEMI. That's a Yieldboost semiconductor ETF. So it's not a single stock. People want a fund of funds. It's not necessarily that, but it will be more of a basket. Probably a little bit lower yield, but probably a little more stable NAV. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's talk about Roundhill. Their single stocks, covered call funds declared today. And let's see how they did. Nothing. It's a lot of red and green. It's a festive, Christmassy type candy cane day. Alibaba was down 3.75. BABW was down double that, almost 6.25. Why? Well, there was a rumor that Alibaba was giving private information to the Chinese military on U.S. citizens. They denied it, but, rumor is everything. So anyway, they were down. And I assume that's why. What did we do? We went way out of the way here. So what else moved? ARM was down 0.38, but ARMW from Roundhill was up 2.01. That's good. We talked about BABA. Everything else pretty flat. Microsoft was up 1.37. MSFW was up 1.59. That's good. They captured more. Strategy, I mean, do we even need to talk about it? It was down 4.22. MSTW is down 5.19. I heard a little birdie say Michael Saylor is announcing huge buying on Monday. Are they buying a ton of Bitcoin? I don't know. We'll see. So, but strategy continues to do what it's doing. Was that it? Back down. Netflix was down 3.64. NFLW down 4.37. Again, these are a little leverage here, so when they're down, you're gonna lose more than the underlying. In general, when they're up, you're gonna gain more, and you're making the income in between. So that's why we love these. Nvidia was up 1.77. NVDW is up 1.86. That's how it's supposed to work. Spider Gold was down 1.81. GLDW, new fund, was down 2.3, so they captured more of the downside. In general, Roundhill was down 0.64%. Underlyings were down 0.39, so they captured, 63% more of the downside, 163% of the downside. As expected. It's leverage. That's what happens with these funds. Let's talk about yield and distros. Start with Apple. Again, it's their single stocks today. Are we on? There's Apple. Okay, so they had 27 cents last week. They declared 23 cents. A lot of these you're going to see lower because of the market this week. I don't know when they decide what they're going to distribute. I assume it's beginning of the week, but I just don't know. So that's down 27 to 23 cents. That is a 31% yield. AMDW on AMD went from $1.04 to 56. That cut in half. It's still a 70% yield. AMZW on Amazon went from 41 cents to 40 cents. That's been pretty consistent. 40 cents, 41 cents, 40 cents. That is a 45% yield. ARMW, one of their newer ones on ARM, British Semiconductor, 72 cents down to 35 cents, cut in half again. Still a 98% yield. It's massive. AVGW on Avgo went from 75 cents to 48 cents. Again, they did drop. That's a 64% yield. BABW on Baba, 48 cents to 45 cents. That is a 71% yield. BRKW on Berkshire, more consistent, safer fund. As far as NAV goes, it's still trading at 47 bucks, but lower yields, 17% yield. They went from 12 cents to 18 cents. That's good, but that's Berkshire. You get what you pay for with these. COIW on Coinbase went from 49 cents to 32 cents, 88% yield. COSW, this is a new Costco fund. A lot of people ask for lower IV. So you're going to get lower yield, but you're going to get a better NAV stability, in my opinion. Still trading at 48 bucks, and they went from 21 cents to 31 cents. That's good, 27% yield. GOOW on Google went from 63 cents to 55 cents, 46% yield. HOOW went from $1.37 to 69 cents. That's a drop. Still 99% yield. That is now the number one yielder. Again, I base the yield on the current price, closing price today, and the average of the last three distributions. And now officially Roundhill has no 100%ers the way I calculate. They had several recently. But, it's the market. Let's see. METW went from 11 cents to 24 cents. That doubled. And that's a 41% yield. MSFW went from 24 cents to 17 cents. That is Microsoft. That's a 28% yield. MSTW strategy went from 27 cents to 23 cents as expected. Still a 94% yield. I mean, it's the IV on strategies there. It's a train wreck, So NFLW on Netflix, 31 cents to 25 cents, 31% yield. NVDW on Nvidia, 57 cents to 34 cents, 53% yield. That is struggling. PLTW on Palantir, 80 cents down to 33 cents. That's more than dropped by half. 79% yield. Still not bad. And it's Palantir. So TSLW on Tesla, 56 cents to 37 cents. Like I said, all of these are dropping because of the market. But it's still a 74% yield. And I love Tesla. So Ubu sit. Good dog. That's on Uber. 54 cents to 30 cents. 58% yield. GDXW. This is they have two new gold funds. This is on gold miners, and the other is on Spider Gold. GDXW. They paid twice. Well, they've declared twice. They paid once, declared again today. 42 cents to 47 cents. That's a raise. 43% yield. And then the Spider Gold went from 16 cents to 21 cents. Another raise. 18% yield. So that is the Roundhill single stocks declared today. They average 54.19% yield. That's among all of Roundhill, not just today's. They declare every day on something. So if you want a daily payday, Roundhill's, with mixture of others if you want, that's the way to go. That's all I got today. Appreciate you being here. Give me a like, give me a comment, and tomorrow we'll do our top 10. We do that Saturdays now. Top 10 ETFs based on yield. You guys know I'm a degenerate. It's all about yield. And then Sunday we'll do some predictions for Monday's declarations. So hope to see you then. Hope to see you tonight. And have a great day, great weekend. Again, we didn't die like we did yesterday. So hang in there and things will be okay. See you then.